Ho, ho, ho! Happy holidays and happy Monday. Come on, pull up a chair, relax. Yes, it is time for another episode of The Daily Dope. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So it is, we're getting close to Christmas, so I thought, okay, I'm usually wearing a baseball cap anyway. Might as well wear a Santa Claus hat. So I will be wearing this throughout this week and actually on next Monday's show as well. Anyway, welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, December 16th. This is episode 411 of The Daily Dope. This is your first time joining me. Keep in mind, this is a very, very casual show. It is live, so chat is available as well. I will get into that in just a moment. But as I mentioned, very, very casual. I just talk about mainly tabletop gaming news. And every once in a while, we'll dip our toes into some pop culture as well. But, of course, it's not rocket surgery. So, just hanging out, having some fun. Usually have some folks popping into chat. Yes, because this is live on YouTube, there is chat available as well. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, please chime in. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you do, don't forget, ring that little bell because it will not only notify you when this stream goes live, within about a minute or so, it'll also tell you when I upload standalone videos, such as my unboxing and first look at Escape from Hades from Hollandspiel, which is coming later tonight. All right, and of course, when you are not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, so we've got Kabuki Kid in chat. Glowing Turtle is here as well. We've got Beat Cafe hanging out. Good deal. We've got a little bit of a chat kicking off already. One thing I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to kind of dive right into the news and then talk about my weekend and some of the things that I watched over the weekend. I did binge watch The Expanse, so do want to chat about that just a little bit. I have had some emails from some folks who we're kind of curious if, maybe I could just jump on into the news as opposed to sometimes I pontificate for, 10 minutes. So I'll pontificate at the end of the show then. Anyway, I do want to mention I did do some gaming this weekend too. Had a lot of fun. Went over to Elliot Miller's house. Elliot Miller, my best friend, voice of E.com. And we got in some gaming. It was cool. I think the big game we played was Australia from Stronghold Games, and the great old ones beat us. So yeah, saw that coming because we were only playing 2 players, and with 2 players, it's kind of difficult to knock off the old ones. It really is. And Flaming Huron is popping in. Yes, hi Jeff, or should I say Santa and chat? Yeah, come on, we're having fun. It's the holiday season. So, one thing I do want to mention, kind of seriously. For some folks, the holiday season is not a good time of year, so try to be nice to people best you can. I try to be nice to everybody all the time, but around the holidays, some people just it's not their time of year. So try to be good to each other, okay? All right, let's jump on into the news as a gray day has popped on into chat as well. So my first news piece is from Arcane Wonders because they'll be releasing smartphone in Q2 of 2020. It's actually Smartphone Inc. In Smartphone Inc., you become a CEO of one of the largest smartphone producing companies in the time when smartphones were only beginning to conquer the world. Research technologies, develop your factory, build your worldwide office network, and outprice your competitors. Smartphone Inc. is an economic simulation Euro game. Over 5 rounds, players perform their decisions and program decisions about price, production, research, and expansion in order to earn more profits and become the most successful company in the world by earning more money than their rivals. The game features a unique mechanism of planning, which combines patching mechanisms with bidding and action selection. Each of the rounds consists of 8 simple phases: planning, pricing, production, development, research, expansion, selling, and ka-ching, profits. After 5 rounds, the richest player wins the game. Smartphone Inc. is for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in about 90 minutes. It will carry an MSRP of $59.95 when it arrives in early 2020. Do have to mention, I do not know exactly when this is coming out. We do not have an exact release date just yet. I just know it's supposed to be Q2, so sometime in the spring is what we're looking at, which I'm kind of surprised because this was on display at Origins this past summer. Yeah, it took me, it's like, it's not spring, it was summer. It was summer that, or was it? Maybe it was still spring. Yeah, because it was June. Yeah, that would be spring. Anyway, I'm kind of surprised that it's taking that long to get this game out because it's already a game out there. I think it's been out there since, I think the Kickstarter might have been 2015, but it is a foreign language game. So, of course, Arcane Wonders is releasing it in English. So, as Kabuki Kid says, yes, be excellent to each other. Is there an expansion add suicide nets to your factory windows? Only if you're operating as Apple, I believe, in this game. That's the only one. I think everyone else is I don't know, pretty safe. Jorge Rodriguez has popped into chat as well. Very cool. Very cool. So Kabuki Kid says this game should win an award for the most hipster-y cover art. You know, the weird thing is, if you live in the U.S. and you see the investment commercials, gosh, I'm trying to remember who it's for. Was it Edward Jones? The guy on the cover of this box looks exactly like the actor they have in those commercials. I think it is Edward Jones investing. All right, moving right along. Russian game company Hobby World will be releasing a new party game in 2020. It's another one I do not have specifics on, but I've got the dope on SpyCon. Welcome, one and all. SpyCon, the largest super spy convention in the world, is in full swing. You are there to get a precious piece of secret information, but there's a complication. Everyone is wearing a costume and you don't know who your source is. Find your spy by listening and talking to the visitors, but you have to remember, the interceptors are there and they might get ahead of you and unveil your spy before you do. SpyCon is an outstanding storytelling detective party game, and that's their words, where players split into 2 teams and take turns being the spy. The goal of the spy is to make their own team guess which costume they are wearing in such a way that the opposing team wouldn't get it. In order to do this, the spy and their team will use a special keyword, as well as their quick-wittedness, limitless fantasy, subtlety, and impressive talent for mingling. In SpyCon, most creative and ingenious team wins, so most importantly, stay on your toes. SpyCon features a detective team-based storytelling party game unlike any other. A completely independent Spyfall spin-off. The same challenging atmosphere with totally different game mechanics. Includes hilarious artwork with 80, actually I should say over 80 unique illustrations. It's supposed to also contain some high replayability because you can use either fictional or non-fictional characters and 2 lists of keywords. SpyCon is for 4 to 10 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 30 to 45 minutes as well. Once again, as I mentioned, I have no release date other than next year, and I do not see anything as far as an MSRP. But I gotta admit, I thought the artwork is kind of fun. The artwork looks kind of fun, although it seems like it's all just the one artwork of one single spy. So, although they have 2 spies on the cover, they have a man and a woman, all the artwork I've seen is only of the guy. So, I do not know. So, Dan from No Enemies here has popped in. Says he didn't get the ding. I don't know. I have no idea. Who's out there painting? A grade A, I think. Oh, maybe it's Jorge Rodriguez. Cool. Very cool. Doing a little painting while hanging out, listening to the show. Very nice. Once again, this week has started off with a bit quiet on the board gaming horizon. But I did want to bring you another free PC game that's available at the Epic Games Store. They announced this, I want to say it was over the weekend that this was announced. And usually the Epic Games Store reveals what their free games or game is for the week. And they had already announced that The Escapists was the free game for this week. Now they've added The Wolf Among Us from the now defunct Telltale Games. This is an awesome game. I played this back when it came out, and I've got the dope. From the acclaimed Telltale Games comes a gritty, violent, and mature thriller based on the award-winning Fables comic books from DC/Vertigo. As Bigsby Wolf, the big bad wolf, you will discover that a brutal, bloody murder is just a taste of things to come in a game series where your every decision can have enormous consequences. An evolution of Telltale's groundbreaking choice and consequence game mechanics will ensure the player learns that even as Bigby Wolf, sheriff of Fabletown, life is in the big bad city is bloody, terrifying, and dangerous. Grab a quick sip here. Over a season of content spanning 5 episodes, including Episode 1, Faith, Episode 2, Smoke and Mirrors, Episode 3, A Crooked Mile, Episode 4, In Sheep's Clothing, and Episode 5, Cry Wolf. Key features of the game is that it's based on the Eisner Award-winning Fables comic book series. It's not only what you choose to do that will affect your story, but when you choose to do it. Features a mature and gritty take on characters from fairy tales, legends, and folklore who have escaped into our world. It's a perfect place to begin your Fables journey. Even if you've not read the comics, this game is set before the events seen in the first issue. So there is a bit of a release trailer. This is from back in the day. I am going to share it with you. Do want to point out, this does contain adult language. You will actually hear a couple of F-bombs get dropped. So I'm just warning you. So let's take a peek.
Rated M for mature.
People are scared of you. I mean, look at your face. Who'd you get in a fight with? A fable, right?
I cut this fucker open. I saved Little Red Riding Hood from this monster.
Your eyes, the teeth. You're not really supposed to do that, are you?
You are the one charged with protecting the citizens of Fabletown. Your failure to do so cost someone their life.
Something's going on.
Big P, did one of us do this?
I don't know, Snow. Must be nice being the sheriff. Do whatever the fuck you like. I have my limit for bullshit.
And I think we reached it 10 minutes ago.
Big P!
There's still a lot of questions.
Should have walked out of here when you had the chance.
All right, so we should jump in our DeLoreans and go back to 2013, right? Anyway, this is an excellent game. This was an adventure game of the year for many people. So you don't want to miss out because it is available absolutely free over at the Epic Games Store right now, and it will run through Wednesday. This Thursday is when they have their new games. So the reason why, and Kabuki Kid had kind of mentioned this, and there's some discussion about this as well. Is there still a part 2, a second episode, or I guess story adventure, featuring Fables? And that is yes. It was announced that there will be a second adventure for The Wolf Among Us. It's coming from people who worked for Telltale Games. That was a complete disaster when that company went under. We will not get into that. But yes, that is the reason why this was released free on the Epic Games Store, and it wasn't on Thursday because the announcement hadn't come out. And I guess somehow these folks who now own the rights to it were like, they got into contact with Epic and said, "Hey, put this out for free to kind of, jump on the kind of catch the coattails of the news announcement." So very cool. So Glowing Turtle's asking if I got a copy of The Drifter. I did. I have yet to have a chance to look at it, simply because I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. I have a queue of various different things that I have to take care of. So it's probably gonna be a bit before I can get a review out of it. And it's in PDF. I don't normally do the PDF reviews. I will actually kind of take that one and do the review. Anyway, Doug Roberts is here in chat. William McGinnis has just arrived in chat as well. So yes, Glowing Turtle. I promise, I will take a look and at least share some thoughts about it. Probably won't do a video because PDF videos are boring. At least that's how I look at it. It's kind of boring to just sit there and be watching a few different images passing by. So anyway, with The Wolf Among Us, I was a huge fan of Fables. I read Fables from beginning to end from Vertigo. Back when I used to have a pull list for comic books, Fables was always on it because I think it is a fantastic series. Bill Willingham did a really great job on it. And I got to be honest, I still think, even though he swears up and down that ABC did not rip him off, I still think ABC ripped him off because he pitched Fables to ABC. They passed on it, and a year later, they developed Once Upon a Time. Come on. Let's get real here. Archangel Ortiz is in chat with us as well. Very cool. Very cool. Kabuki Kid is saying, yeah, great news about part 2. Yeah, this is an excellent game. It is for adults. It's not. It's just mainly language and a little sexiness in it, a little sexy sex. But it's not, over the top. But I think actually that's probably one of the reasons why it's my favorite of the Telltale games. I thought the Batman one was pretty good as well. All right, let's jump on into some role-playing game news, because now available from Zombie Sky Press is Along the Twisting Way, The Fairy Ring Campaign, or I should say Campaign Guide. I almost said companion. Duh. Let me grab a quick sip here. I just keep blabbing along. Now available from Zombie Sky Press is Along the Twisting Way, the Fairy Ring Campaign Guide. And here's the dope. The Fairy Ring is here. Welcome to the worlds of the Fae. You'll meet Fae lords and their servitors and travel to strange, faraway lands. Most cultures easily rattle off stories of the Fae, portraying them in the most colorful of ways. On the surface, the tales seem little more than entertainment and whimsy, perhaps a moral interjected here and there. More often than not, they are so contradictory or ridiculous as to be easily dismissed. However, if you look long enough, you eventually realize that the Fae are simply more diverse and complicated than previously imagined. The Fae aren't like you and me. In this book, you'll find secrets of the Fae laid bare, Fae origin myths, philosophies, and social habits, wonders of the preternatural planes, 11 Fae lords and their domains, new Fae subtypes, 30 Fae NPCs, 45 new Fae monsters, 22 Fae artifacts, and more of the craziness that can only come from the Fae. The Fairy Ring brings you the worlds of the Fae, from the Fae lords to those who serve them, their lands, their magics, their machinations. Everything you need to bring a fresh dose of Fae to your game. Right now, the 344-page tome, which is available for either Pathfinder, which I believe it's Pathfinder 1st edition, I am not positive, or 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, can be had in hardcover for $55 or in PDF from our friends over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. I do wish I had some more images that I could share of this book because it looks pretty impressive. But most of what I have, what I ran across from Zombie Sky is sort of, yes, somebody holding the book open, or the book's sitting next to someone's dog. I mean, which is fine, which is cool. It just doesn't give you a really good look at this. And I gotta say, 344 pages for $20 over at Drive-Thru RPG is pretty good as far as pricing for PDFs. So there you have the campaign guide if you want to include some more Faeness into your Pathfinder or D&D. My final news piece, well, actually, let's see. So Dan says, a fairy ring is a ring of mushrooms around a mycelium foundation. Just saying. Okay, Dan. What? Mushrooms will save us. Yeah, because what did the Fae not like the mushrooms? I thought some of them live in mushrooms. I don't know. I do not know. All right, my final news piece, now available from Cubicle 7 Entertainment, is the Game Master screen for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I've got the dope. Standing tall like the walls of Eldorf themselves, the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Game Master screen presents a handy summary of all the important rules of RFP, alongside a variety of useful Game Master tools. It's accompanied by a Game Master's guide full to bursting with tips, tricks, and optional rules to expand your campaigns in new and exciting directions. With breathtaking artwork of the old world's festering cities, I love it, it's festering cities, on one side, and all the tables, rules, and references a GM could want on the other, the Game Master screen is the perfect accessory to keep all of your nefarious plans secret from the prying eyes of your players. Accompanying the screen is the Game Master's Guide, a 32-page book crammed full with indispensable articles for GMs, both new and old. Game Master's screen and Game Master's Guide includes a 4-panel standing screen covered in everything you could ever need, from conditions and trappings to NPC quirks, and motivations. A guide to game mastery. A guide to the process of building compelling campaigns and adventures, including how to start a campaign with a bang and loads of advice for running the best riff-up games possible, ensuring they are given the depth they deserve. What makes Warhammer? Articles discussing the core themes of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, there to help you run the most Warhammer-y games possible. Running your game. An explanation of some of the core rules of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, including advantage, character death and dooming, motivations, and more, all explored with new optional rules and random tables. The Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Game Master screen is an essential addition to every GM's arsenal, no matter your style of play or experience level. You'll find a wealth of useful articles, tools, and new rules to expand your game of Riff-up. I know, I should always just say Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, but it's so many people out there do call it Riff-up. You can pre-order the physical Game Master screen right now from my friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment for $29.99. You can grab the PDF right now from Drive-Thru RPG. You want to create your own Game Master screen, or if you have one that you kind of replace the panels all the time, I know a lot of people do, you can grab that for $15. Of course, whenever I talk about Drive-Thru RPG, keep in mind that the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are affiliated with the One Bookshelf websites. So of course, if you are going to go to, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please visit gaminggang.com first, click on one of our banners, and that way, if you do make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels and dimes and quarters add up. They really do. And most months actually pays for the hosting of the Gaming Gang website. And it is not cheapo hosting either. All right, so that is it for the news for today. Glowing Turtle was asking if anybody saw the Kickstarter for Unsettled. I have not. I am not familiar with that. I will have to check that out. So, Dan from No Enemies here is on his way out. No, you will not see me at WBC next year. I'm sorry. It ain't happening. I'll be lucky if I can make it to the big conventions that I'm supposed to be going to. But have a good Monday there, Dan. So before I wrap up, I want to talk a little bit about what I watched over the weekend. So I did binge watch the 4th season of The Expanse. I know there are a lot of people out there complaining about it. And it's kind of like... hang on a sec. So Archangel Ortiz says, by the way, you accidentally added the exclamation point to the website link in the description. I will have to take a look. To see. I don't know. I guess that is from me, probably from the video channel. I'll have to take a peek. Anyway, so there are people out there complaining about it that they think, oh man, I don't know what the beef is, because it is based on the Cibola Burn. I think it's Cibola, if that I remember correctly, which was the 4th book in the Expanse series. So pretty much every season they've kind of done what they could to kind of stick with one of the books. Now there will be 9 at the end of everything. So wait a second. So everybody's saying that there's an exclamation point. Let's see what we got here. Let me take a quick peek. See what's going on. I'm going to just pop this open real quick. See, we're like way ahead of the game here. It's only 7:30 right now. Oh yeah, I just threw an exclamation point for the gaminggang.com. It's like, yeah, come see us. I'll get rid of it. That's no big deal. It's all right. It's okay. It's all right. So, yeah, okay. Well, so I'll remember not to put an exclamation point there. I was just saying, hey, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, let me jump back. Okay, there we go. Don't need that. Close that out. Anyway, Sebulba is in Star Wars, right? That, yeah, I think that's one of the characters. Yeah, isn't that the character who was in the Phantom Menace? That was, like, the guy with the, like, the jet bike things? Anyway, so, yeah. No, it's okay, Archangel Ortiz. That's fine. No biggie. Yeah, some people just don't realize that they should... Actually, it should show as just a link, I thought, in the finished video. I'll find out. It's no big deal. Yeah, the flyer at the junk shop. Yeah. That's Sebulba or whatever. Anyway, so some people are complaining about season 4 of The Expanse, and I don't see it. I mean, granted, I did not think it was as spectacular as previous seasons, but that's more because of the book than anything else. Now, the next book, the next season, because I know this has been renewed for season 5 because they're already shooting it. They've been shooting it for a while. It's going to be pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. And of course, I do want to point out, as someone who has read the books, well, not the last one because it's not out yet. It's supposed to come out next year. I do want to point out that you'll probably like next season much better than this one because just bigger events going on. But I still thought, I liked it. I liked it. I don't know what people just bitch about anything these days, right? It's like, I guarantee you we're going to hear all these people who are going to hate the new Star Wars movie. I don't know if I'm going to like it either. I'm just saying. Even if I think it's, even if it turns out to be pretty good, there will be people out there who will despise it. Just like I watched the finale to The Watchmen last night, or to Watchmen, I should say. And I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good series. Now, last night, I thought it dropped the ball a little bit as far as wrapping some stuff up. But I still thought it was really, really well done. And there are people out there who are completely complaining about that. And the thing is, I do not believe we will see another season of Watchmen because it wasn't designed to be an ongoing series. So the creator, I believe, had already pointed out that he really didn't think that they were going to make this a recurring series, that this was basically a one-shot story, which if it is fine with me. I did like it. I thought it was pretty good. Last thing I want to wrap up, I did see Secrets of Blackmore, the true history of Dungeons and Dragons. Watch it last night. As Doug Roberts says, I'm waiting for Christmas so I can watch Lost in Space Season 2. I'm right with you. I am waiting for that too. And I agree. I thought Season 1 was excellent. I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Although the Dr. Smith aspect is all right. I think they could tweak that a little bit. Hopefully they do in the second season. So, anyway, yes, I agree. We were just talking about that this weekend too, because my best friend Elliot did not know Season 2 of Lost in Space arrives on Christmas Eve. He's like, really? I'm like, yep. That's our Christmas present from Netflix. So as Flaming Heron points out, yeah, people don't like things because they aren't how they expect it to be. Well, here's the thing that kind of bugs me. To me, I find it crazy when people get all bent out of shape about some IP because they don't own it. It's like, oh, well, you need to do this with that. It's like, no, you don't own it. Nobody needs to do anything. They do whatever they want. No one is forcing you to say, go see a Star Wars movie. No one is forcing you to watch The Expanse or to watch Watchmen or anything. So it's just like no one's forcing you to read comic books. I mean, I understand. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of when they retcon stuff from comics and change it for movies. I don't care for that either. But then again, I don't lose any sleep over it, and I don't go to Twitter and be like, damn, no, I mean, that's ridiculous. There's more important things to worry So the Art of D&D documentary on Prime was really fun. I have not seen that. Double K, I have not. Eye of the Beholder? No, I haven't seen it. I'll check it out. So anyway, so I was going to say, so I watched Secrets of Blackmoor, the true history of Dungeons and Dragons yesterday. And it's a little over 2 hours. And I was thinking, should I review this or should I just like let it go? I enjoyed it. I liked it. But then I was around playing role-playing games in the late 70s. So Dave Arneson means something. His name means something to me. Gary Gygax's name means something to me. To me, they're the co-creators of Dungeons and Dragons. And yes, I know the story basically is that Dave Arneson really only submitted something like 18 pages of notes and stuff for Dungeons and Dragons, and that's it. It was still a lot of his ideas and how his Blackmoor game was run in the Twin Cities that really, really influenced Gary Gygax and the rest of the TSR gang when they created Dungeons and Dragons. That's why the books say Gygax and Arneson. That's why. So, like I said, I liked the documentary. I don't think it is going to be every Dungeons and Dragons fan's cup of tea, mainly because it's not really the true history of Dungeons and Dragons. It's kind of a history of how role-playing developed from these gamers in the Twin Cities, but it really isn't a history of D&D. And in fact, for the most part, if you have not seen it, and I'm not going to spoil anything, I mean, it's basically talking heads. It's different people that were part of Dave Arneson's group of gamers. So they are folks that are older than I am, probably by 15, 20 years, most of them, right? Talking about their experience playing the various different games. And it's mainly like the first 90 minutes is just talking about kind of war games and miniatures games, mainly miniatures games, that Napoleonics and American Civil War, where that Arneson and his group were trying to kind of introduce more of it, like a role-playing feel to it. So, you know, if you had a commander of your Russian troops, it was kind of your character. And like only the last 30 minutes even really dives into like Blackmoor itself. So in a way, it's almost like false advertising with the title of this documentary, The True History of Dungeons and Dragons, because it's not. I wasn't expecting like, here's this behind the scenes story about Gygax and Arneson and their falling out and things like that. That's not what I was expecting. That's not what it was either. Although Gygax is not treated well in the documentary, although he's not mentioned very often. I think maybe 5 times they actually mention his name. But I don't know. Like I said, I liked the documentary, but I can't say, oh yeah, I want to recommend it for folks out there who play D&D, because for many of those people, Gary Gygax, that name means nothing. So Dave Arneson's name is going to mean absolutely zilch. But I don't know. I mean, it's worth a stream. It's worth paying for a stream if you've been gaming for a long time, like I have. Other than that, probably not. So, Kabuki Kid says, Arneson was the one who came up with the idea of role-playing with a single character in a dungeon and all that. Gygax was the guy who knew how to organize and write proper rules. Yeah, that's how I've always looked at it. Arneson was kind of the guy who had these like crazy ideas, and Gygax and I'm trying to remember the name of his friend who was like a partner in TSR, but he passed away like I think right after the original D&D came out. They were the ones who really crunched the numbers and things like that. But according to this documentary, this one woman claims that she had typed up all these, different percentile numbers and tables and all these other things that were included in D&D, and she was a friend of Dave Arneson, so I don't know. Anyway, so Gray Day says, nothing really new in that show. Most of that info was in the written realm for a while. Yeah. No, not Jeff Perrin, Kabuki Kid. He was one of the partners of, I don't remember Jeff Perrin being a partner of TSR. So, and gosh, like I said, I can't remember. He was not a huge influence on D&D. He was, of course, one of the people playing at Gygax's house in the basement. But like I said, I don't think I'm going to do a review, because if I do a review, it's going to come across as I'm kind of negative on it, which I don't mean to be. It was just not what I was expecting. Kabuki Kid says Jeff Perrin was the chainmail guy. Didn't Jeff Perrin also do Don't Give Up the Ship? Wasn't he also with Gygax on Don't Give Up the Ship? Yeah, you know what? I think it is Kuntz. I think that's who it was. It was a friend. He was like in his 30s, and I think, if I remember right, he had a heart attack and died. So, all right. Anyway, so that's what I watched this weekend. I played games on Saturday. I binge watched most of The Expanse Friday night, and finished watching The Expanse yesterday. Caught the finale of Watchmen, and then I watched Secrets of Blackmore. So that's what I did. All right. Dan Lowry from Gideon Games. No, it wasn't Don. Because I think, weren't they down in St. Louis? It was somebody who lived in Lake Geneva. Or, yeah, because at that point, because Gygax was a little kid. He was born and raised in Chicago as a little kid. Then they went up to Lake Geneva. And a lot of people don't realize, maybe it is Don K. Hey, Nick Level, good to see you. A lot of people don't realize that even after D&D came out, Gary Gygax still took the train down Mondays through Fridays from Lake Geneva into Chicago to work at the insurance company he worked at. A lot of people don't know that. Plus, another thing is, a lot of people think Gary Gygax became like this uber millionaire. And I mean, he had money, but he blew it all. But he didn't make the kind of dough that people think he made. All right. Anyway, that is it for tonight's show. Of course, as I like to always point out, if you liked the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it'll notify you not only of when this stream goes live, it'll also tell you when my standalone videos are uploaded as well. And as I mentioned at the opening of the show, I have a new one popping up tonight. It is my unboxing of Escape from Hades from Hollandspiel, and it is designed by a friend of mine, Fred Manzo. All right, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, please visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who joined me in chat, thank you so much for hanging out, passing some time with me. Looks like we had a good amount of people hanging out in chat tonight. Very cool. Thank you so much. Always like folks keeping me company, so I'm not just, babbling on to the ether. Blah, blah, blah. And of course, if you watch after the fact, it doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. I got a soft spot for everybody out there. I really, really appreciate everybody who tunes in and watches the show and other videos on the channel. Everybody have a great Monday night. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, until then, happy trails. Zoobity-bitty-bitty-boo-boo. Zoobity-bitty-bitty-boo. Zabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-bum. Zibbit. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of The Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.